So it's been a while since I've done a video like this, but a few recent Garen games allowed me to showcase something a ton of players still do not understand about ganking or behavioral clues. For those familiar with this format, I would use some footage that displays something I want to showcase, and hopefully it is understood while watching, which then I'll explain anyways. Sometimes these are simple, and sometimes they're a bit more nuanced. In these first few clips I'm showing, I want you to notice what behaviors and statuses I'm showcasing. Very quickly, it is established that I am taking a very aggressive stance against my opponent, but not getting too reckless or submitting to tunnel vision. At the same time, the enemy Irelia is trying to be aggressive as well, but is not able to gain the upper hand against me repeatedly. It essentially begins to establish that I am far more powerful than her and could defeat her on even footing, so she needs to be more careful or take things more seriously. She begins to actively avoid going anywhere near me and play safely while still trying to farm. She understands the danger I pose and is no longer looking for a fight. This is a very key detail and shift in behavior, but a shift of behavior that should be expected given how the game has gone thus far and how nothing has indicated that it will be changing significantly anytime soon. In this next push, however, Irelia changes her behavior a bit in a way that makes it immediately suspicious. She dives for minions even though it puts her right next to me and I could take easy shots at her. Initially, I'm just surprised and don't attack her, but as she keeps doing it, I suspect she's trying to provoke me to set me up for something or to get me to burn my abilities on her for little gain. I save all my cooldowns and grant us some space, enough to at least maintain some presence and be safe. As I predicted, Graves shows up for a gank and I know I can't escape alive, so I take the chance of snatching a revenge kill and manage to take down Graves. Hilariously, I do end up surviving due to Galio's intervention either way. While it may not seem like much, consider what would have happened if I burned my cooldowns in an attempt to damage Irelia slightly, or if I tried to dive her somewhat. If Graves showed up during the dive, I'd easily be killed, and if I was even a little bit less health during the gank, I would have died much sooner before a revenge kill could have been gained or before Galio's intervention. Here's an interesting point of view from the enemy side. Graves was pinging Irelia that he was coming to gank for her while he was mid lane. Upon being given the pings, she changed her behavior and made me suspicious, effectively giving away the gank. The main lesson here is that unless your opponent has no perception, do not start acting completely different than you were acting before, or performing actions that have no realistic benefits, such as fighting an opponent you know is strong or has been beating you. In these next clips, I'm fighting a Riven and I'm establishing the same thing. I'm playing aggressive and taking chances to chip at her or attempting to kill her, but never recklessly chasing or putting myself in a weird position. Whenever she gets close, I try to slash at her or hit her with my Q, and on that same note, I give up the chase when my abilities are on cooldown or when I get too deep into her minions. This is the behavior she can basically start expecting from me. Given what I said during the Irelia clips, if I start acting differently against a Riven, it will make her suspicious and she'll play more defensively or set up more wards. The only reason I should behave differently is if I can no longer stay top lane as much due to team fights or something, or she turns the tables on me and I have to adapt to her new threats. In a situation that is coincidentally very similar to the Irelia one, the enemy Riven is pushing up to the tower with a minion wave and I react to it the same way I've been behaving the entire game. I only get aggressive against her when I see chances to slash her, but I do not chase her too far or overcommit. This is important because it makes her feel it's just the same thing happening, and thus she stays put and doesn't leave, and even burns cooldowns in an attempt to keep pressure up. While the gank would have been deadly given all the participants, this guaranteed Riven would be in a very opportune spot with a lot of her tools disabled and thus rendered her dead by default. You can tell she was caught completely off guard, which meant it was a combination of no wards and simply having no indicators that I was setting her up for this. Much like Irelia, I received pings from my teammates that they were coming top lane from mid lane to gank Riven, and even though I knew this, I did not change my behavior. Riven would have had an easy time escaping if she caught wind of the gank early, but I was able to keep her in the dark. Anyways, I hope this old school video format proved useful, and if you have any beginner friends or someone that could benefit from this, pass it along. It seems minor, it doesn't look impressive, but these are the small things that can make a big difference even if you can't notice someone putting them into practice. And if you liked this video, remember to give it a like. And if you aren't subscribed, make sure to subscribe. And if you are subscribed, make sure to hit the little bell up there somewhere so you actually get notifications to my videos because YouTube and stuff.